Paris, France, September 9th, 2025. The political landscape in France shifted dramatically on Tuesday as the Republicans moved to assert their influence in the wake of François Bayrou's defeat in the National Assembly. Just a day after Bayrou's failed attempt to secure the confidence of lawmakers, the centre-right party is pressing for a new process to select his replacement. The call was spearheaded by Valérie Pécresse, president of the Île-de-France region and a prominent Republican voice who addressed reporters outside party headquarters in Paris. Her remarks signalled a clear departure from the traditional way prime ministers are appointed in France, suggesting a more collaborative and conditional process. Pécresse, speaking with determination, laid out the party's vision for what she described as a new political method. Valérie Pécresse said, "We agreed on a method. What we want is not to have a prime minister appointed, but a prospective prime minister who comes to meet with political parties and parliamentary groups to say, this is what I want to do." And we have, on the one hand, the red lines, things that are unthinkable for us, like reversing the pension reform, for example. On the other hand, we also have things that are important to us, the law on municipal police, a number of laws that are going to be reviewed, and things we want to advance, such as immigration, tax reductions, etc. So we want to have a roadmap that we will also present to the prospective prime minister. Her words captured the Republicans' strategy to shape the incoming government by insisting that any candidate for prime minister first negotiate openly with parliamentary groups before taking office. This approach, they argue, would give them leverage over the legislative agenda, particularly on issues central to their platform. François Bayrou's downfall on Monday marked a critical moment in French politics. Having failed to secure the confidence of the National Assembly, Bayrou is now expected to resign. His defeat reflects the deep fractures within the French political spectrum, where alliances have become increasingly fragile and party loyalty no longer guarantees parliamentary support. The Republicans, who have been searching for a path back to relevance after years of electoral setbacks, see this moment as an opportunity. By demanding a designated prime minister, they aim not only to prevent decisions they oppose, such as undoing pension reforms, but also to push forward with their own priorities on law enforcement, immigration and taxation. Pécresse emphasised that the party's demands are not limited to blocking initiatives. Instead, they want to ensure that their policy objectives are firmly embedded in the new government's programme. By publicly listing red lines and must-have policies, the Republicans are effectively drafting the terms of engagement for any future leadership. The pension reform, a highly controversial law passed earlier in the year, remains non-negotiable for the party. For Pécresse and her colleagues, reversing it is unthinkable. At the same time, they are pushing for stronger measures on municipal policing, immigration controls and tax cuts, issues that resonate with their voter base and could position the party as a decisive force in shaping the nation's direction. This bold demand carries risks. By insisting on a roadmap before accepting a new prime minister, the Republicans may complicate the already delicate process of government formation. Critics argue that such preconditions undermine the constitutional authority of the president to appoint the head of government. Supporters, however, see it as a pragmatic response to a fragmented assembly where no single party commands a stable majority. For President Emmanuel Macron, the challenge now is navigating this landscape without appearing to surrender to partisan ultimatums. Macron has yet to announce his next move, but the Republicans' intervention ensures that his choice will face scrutiny and conditions even before being made official. This episode is unfolding against a backdrop of growing public dissatisfaction with France's political institutions. The recent confidence vote revealed deep divisions not just between parties, but also within them. Bayrou's failure underscores the difficulty of governing in a country where coalition politics has become the new norm. The Republicans' push for a designated prime minister reflects these realities. By demanding consultation before appointment, they are trying to position themselves as kingmakers in the new political order. The move also sets the stage for potential confrontations with the president, who may resist what looks like an encroachment on executive prerogatives. Valérie Pécresse's leadership in this moment is significant. A former presidential candidate and longtime figure in French politics, she has often sought to portray herself as a voice of reason within the Republicans. Her call for a method rather than a mere appointment reflects both her pragmatic style and her ambition to influence national politics beyond her regional base. Her statement outside party headquarters was delivered with clarity, signalling the Republicans' readiness to act as a central player in the weeks ahead. By publicly outlining their roadmap, Pécresse ensured that the party's conditions would not only guide internal negotiations, but also frame the public debate about the future of France's government. The immediate future remains uncertain. Bayrou's resignation is expected soon, but the process of selecting his successor could be prolonged by the Republicans' demands. If Macron accepts their conditions, it could mark a shift toward a more parliamentary style of governance, where coalitions and compromises play a greater role. If he rejects them, the stage may be set for renewed political confrontation, potentially deepening the crisis. For now, the Republicans' call for a designated prime minister underscores their determination to shape the next phase of French politics. Whether this strategy succeeds will depend on how other parties and the president himself respond to their bold demand. We agreed on a method. What we want is not to have a prime minister appointed, but a prospective prime minister who comes to meet with political parties and parliamentary groups to say, this is what I want to do. And we have, on the one hand, the red lines, things that are unthinkable for us, like reversing the pension reform, for example. On the other hand, we also have things that are important to us, the law on municipal police, a number of laws that are going to be reviewed, and things we want to advance, such as immigration, tax reductions, etc. So we want to have a roadmap that we will also present to the prospective Prime Minister.
Nous voulons avoir une feuille de route que nous présenterons aussi au Premier ministre pressenti.